Hi, everyone, and welcome to the fourth webinar in GGO's March webinar series. My name is Jessica Solanki, and I'm the chair of the Grape Growers of Ontario's Next Gen Committee. I currently hold the position of vineyard manager at our family's farm, Huebel Grapes Estates in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Please feel free to enter any questions that you guys have in the Zoom's Q&A section. Throughout this presentation, Kira White, the GGO system administrator, will be moderating the questions, and there will be a dedicated time at the end of the presentation when the presenter will answer them. This webinar series is part of an Employment Ontario project funded in part by the Government of Canada and the Government of Ontario. We thank them for their support and thank you for joining us. I'll provide a brief description of the Grape Growers of Ontario's Next Gen Committee and then introduce our speaker for today. So the Grape Growers of Ontario's, the GGO's Next Gen Committee is a collective group of grape and wine industry partners empowering the next generation to create a unique and thriving grape and wine industry that dominates at the global stage. We advocate on behalf of the next gen of grape growers and winery stakeholders to foster sustainable growth and success. Our goals and activities are focused on promoting agriculture education and careers. We attend trade shows and events on behalf of the GGO, key government relation events, and telling real farm stories that build community and interest in Ontario and grape farming. So today we are joined by Aaron Oppenlaender, who will be presenting Tailoring Your Growing Practices to Winemaking Needs. Aaron is a second-generation grape grower here in Canada, whose family farm is located in Niagara-on-the-Lake. He graduated from Niagara College's Viticulture Technician program and currently works at the operations managers for our family farm, Huebel Grapes Estates, tending to our family's 300-acre farm, as well as a custom farming approximately another 700 acres for grape growers and winery owners. Aaron, for those who don't know, Aaron is actually my brother, another member of the Next Gen Committee. And along with our siblings and dad, we launched Labeling Wines last year. And all Labeling Wines are made from grapes that Aaron and I manage on our family farm or for growers that we've known for a very long time. So thanks again today, Aaron, for presenting, and I'll pass it over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Aaron Oppenlaender, Vineyard Operations Manager at Huebel Grapes Estates. I'm a second-generation farmer in my family's business. We are grape growers here in Niagara, as well as custom farm operator to many landowners and wineries. We provide all aspects of viticulture practices to match the site and the varieties and where the grapes will be destined for. We also provide custom planting, trellising, budgeting, and consulting. As a grower, we all have final goals that we have in mind. We need to bring and to continue farming. Our costs have risen significantly, especially over the past 10 years. For ourselves, we've invested in the newest technology, mechanized everywhere we possibly can. The practices we have to do to get the quality, quantity, but it's also getting tough out there with prices constantly increasing. How are we making these decisions? With our own farms and the customers we manage for, we have contracts set with our partners, buyers, and customers with guidelines for us to achieve to match the need for the grapes to the end product. Each variety and blocks on our farms, we have a quality, quantity, and a destination which gets reviewed every year. This helps us strategize and plan the work that goes into these blocks. Each year, we try to achieve these parameters so that it works for our partners. When we go into a review, we discuss the blocks and how the fruit and the wine is, how the quality was, and if it has passed its expectations or not. This has helped us plan and strategize for the coming seasons and to adjust where needed. This practice has helped us gain tremendous intel about the sites, blocks. Not all sites and blocks are the same. We have different soils throughout the blocks and farms. Varieties act different. On some soils, clones and rootstocks all can play and make a difference. Training methods, pruning strategies, tying, thinning methods, all play a crucial part in the decision making when we're trying to get each block to its designated quality and the quantity we are looking for. Estate vineyards versus purchased fruit. So we manage a lot of estate vineyards for customers and wineries, and they want the best possible fruit from that site. So we try to match the needs of the vine to the site. Balance is key. Some sites that we have taken over, previous training systems did actually not match the soil and the vigor. They either had too much vigor or not enough. One site that we manage has tremendous amount of vigor. In the past, they've always tied down 2 arms, but was constantly battling bullwood and winter damage. So we added an extra fruiting wire, tied 4 arms down. Do our kind of standard 210 thinning practices. So any shoot that's like kind of longer than the wind wire, which is about 3-ish feet from the bottom of the fruiting wire, we actually take down 2 clusters. Below that, 1 cluster, and anything under a foot actually physically gets removed. So by adding in these extra arms, the plant actually started to balance itself out, and a lot of these practices actually became quicker. Thinner canes, more winter hardy. The winery was also noticing the same with the fruit quality. It became better. We had increased tonnage, better break levels, darker color juice, better tannins, bigger, bolder wines, one with longevity, so better balance itself with purchased fruit. So as a grower perspective, with estate fruit, the fruit we sell, we want it to be the best possible fruit for the winery. We want the buyers to want the fruit year after year. We review the fruit. We review the fruit with the wineries as well to understand their needs and if the fruit has met their quality standards. We adjust from there what is needed, whether it is more leaf removal, more thinning, less thinning. It really all comes down to where the end product is destined for. So what are we doing to keep costs in mind? With the constant increases, we must adapt to overcome our continuously rising costs. We've invested in the newest technology to mechanize where we can. We have invested in new leaf removers to completely remove hand leaf removal without sacrificing quality. Some of these blocks, we actually use the machine in conjunction with hand leaf removal, but we're significantly cutting the costs of the hand leaf removal. We have changed our time tracking software, and we are starting to track hours by blocks and by farms. We use this to compare if one site is faster than the other and review it in the off season to find out why it is faster and how can we make this happen in all of our blocks. We must adapt our costs, and we don't want to sacrifice quality as well. This year, we're actually adapting a new piece into our time tracking software. Our program will automatically track all the operations. This year, just machine operators, signing them in and out of each block as they perform a task. So for example, at the end of a spray cycle or season, anything for the matter, the program will actually show us where inefficiencies are. An example of this could be maybe filling up sprayers is taking too long. Maybe our nurse tanks or spray trucks are not parked at the right location and we're spending more time filling the sprayers up than actually spraying in the field. So we're very excited to see the outcomes of this new update with our program. We've also invested in grape harvesters that sort out all mog, leaving us with the best fruit possible to deliver to our buyers. This helped us eliminate hand picking after frost. It also helped us remove bot and sour rot. It's been a game changer for us and for our customers. We also supply all of our entire hand crews with electric pruners. This has helped speed up the hours spent in the field pruning. We have all of our catch wires in the field are also removable to make the ducting of the canopy as fast as possible. And one thing we've done in the last 10 years with all new fields that we've planted is we've gone to a clipless post. So we actually, once we install the post into the field, we run our wires and hang them up right away. There's no more sending crews through to attach fasteners. We attach the wires. These posts are actually super handy in the first coming years of growth, as we can essentially attach the wires anywhere along the post. This year is one of our newest leaf removers. We purchased 2 in the past couple of seasons. It's 2 modes of action, which is super nice. The first set of leaf removers is the roller style that actually plucks the outer edge of the leaves off, followed by the pulsating air style leaf remover, which then has less leaves to penetrate deep into the canopy. This allows us to speed up our mechanical leaf removing tremendously, with achieving better results the first time. This is an Aero 2-row hedger. This hedges 2 rows completely at one time. So at first we were kind of intimidating, hedging 2 rows at once, but once you get used to driving it, you won't go back. We get about 2 to 3 times more hedging done in a day. This is a drift recovery sprayer. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with recycle sprayers, but in the beginning of the season, we can save anywhere from 70 to 90% of the chemicals. By the end of the season, roughly 20 to 30% of chemicals being saved. This is another style of recycler sprayer, a Lipco recycler sprayer. It's also one of our spray trucks. We have 3 spray trucks filling up all of our sprayers, so we can kind of get them filled as efficiently as possible. This is one of our harvesters. This is a New Holland Opti grape with sorting technology on it. This machine has saved us a ton of hand labor when it comes to cleaning fruit and picking post-frost. This year, we actually trialed it for the first time for sparkling wine, and we were excited to see the results. This is an aero grape harvester. This machine can do it all, from conventional harvest, sorting mog, and all at high speeds and every possible tonnage. The added bonus is it goes 40 kilometers down the road. This is one of the hand pruners, that a cordless hand pruner that we provide all of our hand crews with. It's nice. There's no cord on it. It's nice, lightweight, and the guys seem to love it. And it's very, very simple. This is the clipless style post that we are using as well in all the new plantings. It's again, it's been a game changer for us. Tucking has become faster. We also have multiple options throughout the post where we can set the catch wires or fruiting wires. It's nice. We can change the trellis system on the fly if we need to, if we find out something's not working. It's also increased the speed of a trellis installation tremendously. A nice added bonus too. It's once we put all our costs together, we've actually noticed that these posts are cheaper than T-posts in the long run. As most of you are aware, growers are paid by bricks and quantity. It's a healthy scale that reflects the targeted outcomes for each site. We as growers know what our input costs are and what we need to make to survive. On the same note, it also must meet the needs of the winemakers and wineries. Wineries need the best fruit possible to continue the partnership with the growers as well. Growers need the wineries to be satisfied with the fruit they're receiving. Wineries need to be satisfied with the fruit they're receiving to again continue the partnership. If one side needs higher quality or quantity, these are all discussions that can be had. If one is happy with where the wine is at and wants to continue with the current variety or block because of where it's destined for, that's perfect as well. There's always room in the market for every style of and quality of wine. Thanks for listening to my presentation. Any questions?
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. So we will now open it up for any questions from the attendees. Kira, are there any questions, or we can give a?
There is, yes.
That's
Happily,
awesome.
I'm happy to say. So one person asked, you said that the clipless posts are less expensive over the long run. How does the initial cost for the post compare?
It's slightly more expensive in the beginning. It all depends on the amount that you're ordering, right? Obviously, if you're ordering more posts, it brings the cost down. And when I say more expensive, I don't mean like $10 more expensive. I mean like 50 cents to $1 more expensive at the time of purchase, if that. Jessica might even be able to answer that question a little bit more than I will. She is in the office more now, though.
I get to run the math and the numbers more. Aaron does the hard work.
Yeah.
We did a lot of planting last year, and we compared a vineyard that we did like traditional T posts and we call them like C posts because they look like a C. And the hand labor was almost double for the guys that had to put these posts in and attach the clips and then attaching the wire. So it was almost double the amount of labor to do the wires and to do the fasteners, which we were pretty surprised about. I mean, it depends on the crew, but we have a really good crew. We find that they just fly through these C posts when they're putting wires up.
Mm-hmm.
Great, thank you. Okay, so another question that came through is, can you explain how the OptiSort works on the harvester?
Sure. I don't know if you want to go back to that slide. It's slide number 9. Yep, this machine is a specialized piece of equipment. It was designed in Champagne for sparkling wine production as hand labor. Because their costs increased over there, so this machine was designed with New Holland with a few winemakers. So no actual fruit sees the bin until it's been sorted. So where it says OptiGrape here on the side of the bin, that's where the sorting table is. It's a completely closed system. So the grapes they fall off into the catcher trays of the harvester, and they get brought up to the top of the machine, where from there it gets all the leaves and a bit of bits get sorted out first, and it goes on to a pre-sorting table, which takes any stems that are still on the grapes off, and then from there it falls down to a second set of rollers that again sort by shape and by size onto, and then every grape and every kind of material that's still on that table has to go over an air knife system or a cushion. So on where it says OptiGrape here, there's a plate, a metal plate that's about a meter long, maybe slightly bigger, with many holes, specialized holes, engineered holes that are drilled through it. And every grape actually rolls over top of that air knife. And it's specially designed to I don't even know how to describe it properly, where the air blows around the grape, and anything that's misshapen, that's not circular or sphere shape, gets blown out of the and off of the machine itself, and the grapes actually roll into the bin from there on. And it's almost 100%. The newest machine, the OptiGrape 2, is pretty significant compared to the OptiGrape 1. Like, we've got two machines that are, I think, 4 years in age difference, and the cleanliness from the first OptiGrape to the second is already significant. Any more questions about the OptiGrape? It's hard to show without like having more photos of the system, but it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't look like there's any other questions about that. But there is another question, which is great. Keep them coming, guys. So it says some wineries ask for hand-picked grapes. So they actually specifically request that. Where can you locate and find like the lowest cost hand harvest labor? You know, and maybe I'll add to that question. Is that something that you ever sort of push back on wineries about, or is it like if they request it, then, you know, you make that happen?
Yeah. Being our size, unfortunately, we do pick a lot by hand, probably way more than I ever want to. And I wish I could say it was only 20 tons, but we're probably picking close to 500 or 600 tons by hand, if not more. Every variety and block is probably slightly different in cost, and I think it depends on everything you do in the season. That can definitely affect the costs of hand picking. If you got to go through and clean as you're picking, sorting through dirty fruit or botryticized fruit or sour rot or even powdery mildew, that brings your costs up significantly. Whereas a clean vineyard and the fruit is pristine, the costs are way lower. And I think that goes kind of alongside as well with, say, sparkling wine. We do a lot of Pinot Noir for sparkling. And when we first start picking, the fruit is pristine, it's beautiful. There's nothing breaking down, but Pinot Noir can literally break down overnight. So the cost from day one to day two is completely different. So I think that just depends on in the field itself if you're having to sort or clean.
Okay.
Does that answer the question, maybe?
Yeah, and I think one part of it was that they were wondering how you source hand harvesting labor. So I don't know if you have some resources you can suggest to find crews, or if it's just really word of mouth, or.
No, so we have 36 offshore labor that comes from Mexico yearly. We also have anywhere from 40 to 70 that live locally that work for us all season long.
Okay, so maybe like some of those, so some of those, like the temporary foreign worker programs, like those are sometimes that's sort of your source for those. Yeah. Okay.
That's a source for all. Yeah. So if they need help, with hand picking, they can call myself or my sister.
Okay. You can give some
that's
resources.
Not a problem.
Great. Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to the next one, which is, do your management practices differ from appellation to appellation? For example, impact of terroir?
Just again, like if it's like most of our side is on the east side of the canal in Niagara-on-the-Lake. We have a bit on the bench. It's all dictated for what the winery wants. All the custom work we do is hopefully they're making the decisions. I don't really want to make the decisions too much, which we end up doing anyways. But that's pretty much where it's dictated. I only want to do the work that they require or request. We'll do like the basic end of it that needs to be done, like all the tractor work and the minimalist of hand labor, like pruning and tying, suckering and tucking. But all the other practices, that's up to them what they want done.
Okay, so it's more of a collaboration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your biggest consideration when negotiating contracts with winery clients? And is it like length of contract? Is it tonnage, production size of the client themselves, or anything else?
Definitely a bit of both. We want it to work on both sides of the scale. We want them to be satisfied with the fruit. So they want to extend a contract. Yearly is preferred, like I shouldn't say yearly, I say long-term is preferred. Like having a year by year contract is stressful and you don't know what's going on for next year. So we prefer to have long-term, whether that's 5-year or 10-year contracts. But it's good to be in an open relationship with the winery that's purchasing your fruit, because if a block or so that they're purchasing from you is starting to suffer, quality wise, whether it be due to virus or anything, um, as a grower, we want to know that so we can plan for the future and either pull that block out and replant with something that they want. So I don't know if that sums it up or answers the question. That's a bit of a challenging one, right? I'm sure as growers, we're all kind of facing that same challenge right now, and are unsure of the future. So
Yeah, it's a tricky climate out there right now.
mhm.
One more question. Is there one single most important thing that you do to get quality grapes? Whew, that's another tough one.
Plant virus-free vines. I'll be the biggest pusher for that one. Don't just buy any grapevine from any nursery. Make sure it's certified, right? You're not just going to go to a doctor that's not certified and get a needle, right? Or a scene that hasn't been approved. So why would you buy a grapevine that hasn't been certified clean? So that's number one. If you can get a clean grapevine in the ground, you're 100 steps ahead.
And I actually have a question for you and Jess. Did you guys change anything when in your growing practices when you knew you guys were going to start labeling? Was there anything that you shifted in those blocks in particular that you knew you guys were going to use for those wines that now that you're the winemakers as well, you know, that you're coming at it from the wine side, that you specified that you want to change?
Do you want to go first, Jess? You want me to answer that one
I would
to
say
start?
the only thing you can kind of talk about the reds was, so when you talk about cost of the winery, thinning, especially in reds, can be quite a big cost. That doesn't necessarily match up when it comes to tonnage and brick. So because we can see that direct impact, we decided to do a bit of those trials, which Aaron spearheaded right away and was really exciting. You can talk about that, but we did it in our Gamay and our Cab Franc, which was scary as a grape grower, especially our dad walking through the vineyard, taking all this off.
Yeah, you got to turn a blind as a grower. You got like if or sure I should say, as a grower, it's challenging and difficult to look at the ground to see what you're thinning. As you're looking at, as unfortunately, quantity pays more than quality right now, and hopefully that'll change in the future. And I think it will. The next generation is definitely asking for higher quality wines, but in the end, the wines have turned out fantastic. And there's different practices you can do and timing methods to maybe thin earlier or whatnot that we've tried with wineries too. That maybe we'll say, hey, next year we'll do it at this time to hopefully mitigate those costs. But keeping my dad out of the vineyard has definitely been key when you want to do fun things.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
If he's on the call, hi, Dad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, well, there aren't any other questions on the list at the moment. So if anyone has any last minute ones that they want to add in there, please do that now. Otherwise, it's been great having you both. It's nice that you have the dual perspective now, as well as being a winery, starting that label for yourselves, and then also being such seasoned growers as well. So so it's nice to have those both perspectives on one topic like this. But yeah, I don't think any other questions are coming through. So thank you both for being here. Thank you to everyone who attended.